They call me Deep Waters, but I've always thought of myself as more than a name stenciled in gold on my stern. I am a floating palace, yes, but also a silent witness, a confidant, a stage for the world's most dangerous games. My hull gleams under the Mediterranean sun, my decks are polished to a mirror shine, and my cabins are dressed in silk and secrets. To the world, I am a billionaire's toy, a vessel for laughter, champagne, wine, and the kind of music that makes the sea itself want to dance. But if you listen closely, you'll hear the truth humming in my engines. I am so much more than that. Tonight, the party is in full swing. The air is thick with perfume and the clink of crystal glasses. Laughter bounces off my walls, but beneath it, I sense the undercurrent, always the undercurrent. I feel every footstep, every nervous glance, every whispered word that slips between the shadows of my corridors. I know the regulars, Senator Blake, with his heavy cologne and heavier secrets. Madison, the tech mogul who thinks my security cameras are his playthings, and the others, each with their own masks and motives. But tonight, there's someone new. She steps aboard just after sunset, when the sky is bruised purple and the sea is holding its breath. Her name, I overhear, is Evelyn. She moves differently, light but with purpose, as if she's measuring each plank beneath her feet. She doesn't linger at the bar or flirt by the pool. Instead, she stands at my rail, staring out at the horizon, her reflection wavering in the glassy water. I feel her fingertips brush my railing, cool and steady. There's something in her touch that makes my lights flicker, just for a moment. The others notice her, too. Senator Blake's eyes follow her like a hawk. Madison tries to charm her, but she slips away, leaving only the faintest trace of her perfume in my corridors. I sense tension coil tighter with every passing hour. My crew, usually invisible, move with unusual urgency. Someone has tampered with my security system. I feel the glitch ripple through my circuits, a shiver in my steel bones. I want to warn someone, but I am only a yacht, after all. My voice is the creak of my timbers, the hum of my engines, the sigh of the sea against my hull. As the night deepens, the games begin. I hear snippets of conversation, words like leverage, compromise, asset. I know these words. I have heard them before, in the dead of night, when deals are struck over spilled whiskey and trembling hands. But tonight, the stakes are higher. I feel it in the way the guests move, in the way Evelyn disappears below deck, in the way Madison's laughter turns brittle. Suddenly, a storm rolls in, fast and furious, as if the sky itself wants to wash away the sins gathering on my decks. Rain lashes my windows, thunder rattles my chandeliers. The party scatters, guests seeking shelter in my cabins. But Evelyn moves with purpose, slipping into the engine room. I feel her presence like a pulse, steady and determined. She's not here for champagne. She's here for something else, something hidden deep within me. I remember the last time I felt this kind of fear. It was years ago, when a man fell overboard in the dead of night. They said it was an accident, but I knew better. I felt the struggle, the desperate grip on my rail, the splash that echoed long after the sea had swallowed him whole. I carry that memory in my hull, a scar no amount of polish can erase. Now, as Evelyn moves through my heart, I sense danger closing in. Madison follows her, his footsteps heavy, his voice low and urgent. They argue about files, about loyalty, about who will walk away from this night with their secrets intact. I feel the tension crackle, electric and sharp. I want to help her, this woman who treats me not as a toy, but as an ally. I flicker my lights again, a warning, a signal. She glances up, just for a second, and I like to think she understands. Suddenly, a gunshot shatters the storm's rhythm. The sound ricochets through my corridors, rattling my very core. I feel blood, warm, sticky, seep into my teak floorboards. Madison collapses, his secrets spilling out with his life. Evelyn stands over him, shaking but resolute. She pulls a small device from her pocket and plugs it into my mainframe. I feel her searching, digging, pulling files from the depths of my memory. Evidence, blackmail, the truth behind the masks. Outside, the storm is dying, but inside, chaos reigns. Senator Blake pounds on the door, demanding answers. The crew scrambles, torn between loyalty and fear. Evelyn works quickly, her hands sure, her breath steady. She copies the files, wipes her prints, and slips away, leaving me humming with secrets. By dawn, the authorities arrive. They swarm my decks, searching for answers. But I keep my silence. I am just a yacht, after all. A vessel for pleasure, not for truth. Evelyn is gone, vanished into the morning mist. The guests whisper, the crew lies, and Senator Blake weeps in my master suite, clutching a glass of whiskey and staring at the horizon. But I remember. I remember everything. I remember the way Evelyn's touch lingered on my rail, the way Madison's secrets tasted like salt and fear, the way the storm tried to cleanse me but failed. I carry these memories in my hull, deep and unyielding. They will never know how close they came to losing everything. They will never know that I, deep waters, am more than wood and steel and glass. I am a witness. I am a keeper of secrets. And I am always listening, always watching, always waiting for the next game to begin. Sometimes, when the sun is high and the sea is calm, I almost believe I could forget. The Mediterranean glitters around me, sunlight dancing on my polished rails, and for a fleeting moment I imagine myself as nothing more than a vessel for joy, a floating paradise untouched by the shadows that have crept across my decks. But the truth is, I never do forget. I feel the stains in my grain, invisible to the eye but etched deep into my being. The echoes in my engine room where whispered threats and desperate bargains once reverberated, the weight of every secret pressed into my decks like footprints in wet sand. Even when the laughter returns and the music swells, I sense the ghosts of what has passed, lingering in the corners of my cabins, haunting the silence between the waves. The world moves on, as it always does. Senator Blake, with his practiced smile and restless hands, will find new scandals to hide, new enemies to outmaneuver. The crew, loyal but wary, will whisper about the night Madison died, their voices hushed as if afraid I might overhear. The guests will return, their faces flushed with sun and champagne, laughing and dancing beneath the string lights, pretending nothing ever happened. They'll toast to new beginnings, to fortunes made and lost, to love and luck, and the endless blue horizon. But I know better. I know that beneath every toast and every smile, there's always something lurking, waiting to surface. Resentment, regret, the memory of a scream swallowed by the storm. Days pass in a blur of routine and ritual. My hull is scrubbed until it gleams, my carpets replaced with plush new threads, my name repainted in fresh gold that catches the morning light. But I am not new. I am layered with memory, with the touch of Evelyn's hand, gentle, determined, leaving a warmth that lingers long after she's gone, and the cold, final silence that followed Madison's last breath. Sometimes, late at night, when the world is quiet, and the only sound is the gentle slap of water against my sides, I replay the moment Evelyn paused at my rail. Her eyes searched the horizon, her mind already far from here, and I wondered if she felt the same ache I did, a longing to be free of the burdens we carry, to drift unmoored and unremembered. I wonder where she is now. Has she found peace? Or is she still running, still looking over her shoulder for the shadows that once gathered on my decks? Does she ever think of me, not as a tool, not as a means to an end, but as a silent partner in her escape, A witness to her courage and her fear? I like to imagine she does. I like to imagine that somewhere out there she remembers the way the storm raged and the way I tried, in my own small way, to help her. I've learned that people think they own me, that they can use me for their games and then walk away untouched. They see only the surface, the gleaming wood, the sparkling glass, the promise of pleasure and power. They don't see the scars beneath, the memories I hold tight, the way I shudder when the wind howls just so. But I am not so easily forgotten. I am the sum of every secret, every betrayal, every desperate hope whispered into the night. I am the battlefield and the prize, the stage and the witness. I am deep waters, and I know that the most dangerous currents are the ones you never see coming. The ones that swirl beneath the surface, silent and relentless, waiting for the right moment to rise. So, as the next party boards and the music starts again, I wait. I listen. I watch. I feel the anticipation in the air, the way old guests glance nervously at the corners where shadows gather, the way new ones marvel at my beauty, unaware of the stories I could tell. Because sooner or later, the truth always finds its way to the surface. It bubbles up in a careless word, a trembling hand, a sudden silence that falls like a shroud. And when it does, I'll be here, steady, silent, and ready to remember. That is my purpose, my curse, and my power. And as long as I float, no secret is ever truly safe. I am deep waters, and I will always remember.